Welcome to Courageous Conviction. Remember that Jeff and I record each Saturday 5 episodes. So please hit the like button, subscribe so you catch all 5 episodes. We usually start out with one theme or topic. We have to go down a lot of rabbit holes to really understand it. Some things are more sensitive than others right now, what's going on in the world. So hit the like button, subscribe, and let's jump into this video.
Bukele is changing things for his country. He's changing the economy. When I went through El Salvador, you couldn't take out more at an ATM more than a $20 bill. I mean, you could take out a few of them, but that was the highest denomination of currency that you could take out. And it started at 5, 10, 3 5s or 15 and $20. And I know this because they use the US dollar as their currency. When they switched to that, to Bitcoin or whatever, and went back to their own currency, things have changed, right? Didn't they go back to their own currency?
No, they still have to use the dollar. They were forced to use the dollar. Yeah, it was forced upon Bukele, but he, I see what he's doing. He's playing the game right now. The World Bank forced it upon him.
But people are for him because he's been a hardliner, and all them, gangsters.
Jeff, he won 86% of the vote. Last month.
Yeah, that's unheard of. And the thing is that it's a true vote, because people, they're happy about him. Everybody across the board is happy about the change. Before, I mean, I don't know if people know this, but try to hang out in San Salvador, 20 years ago, you would have got mugged. Just don't go outside at night. And there are certain times during the day that were particularly dangerous, just like it is in Guatemala right now, because of the Maras. So these gangs that rule society have to be stood up against. The only way you stand up against those gangs down there is with violence. You treat those people like criminals and you put them down.
Look at Haiti. Look at Haiti right now. You got cannibal gangs over through the whole country. I mean, that's where we're heading in the U.S. too. BLM. Yeah. I mean, it's the same idea. It's the same.
Take them guys down.
Same idea.
Yep. Yeah. All of them got to be taken.
Mob control.
Meet those people. Hunt them down. And sorry.
You're cold, Jeff. Now,
I'm sorry. But if we're gonna go down this place where we don't have law enforcement that's going to protect, we're going to have to, take up and form militias against these people, so the government can step in or we can step in. Just don't take our guns away.
Well, listen, now coming back to that, we were talking about that earlier. I was talking about how some of the people I'm going to interview, well, the families I'm going to interview, and the foreign exchange student I have here right now, right? She is telling me, she said to me, Brother Eric, she said, I don't know anybody that's not here or coming from my country, except for my immediate family. He said, all my friends are on their way here right now, or they're already here. And she said to me, and if I got a visa, and if I want to stay here, I can't. I have to go home.
See, that's a problem. We promote illegal migration.
No, here, listen. I had 3 people, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people go to the embassy yesterday, day before yesterday. This is and they were just trying to get a visa to Mexico, right? They're trying to get a U.S. visa. They're trying to get a Mexico visa because these people are actually going to work for our Book of Mormon tours, right?
Yeah.
And this is why it's all being pushed up illegally, and it's all about money. They went in there. They had to pay for their visa. They went in there, got interviewed, and the person said, everything checks out, everything's fine, except that you have to have a savings for each person to go into Mexico of $4,000. So in other words, the family of 4 had to have $17,000. It was $4,300. And then the other girl, same thing. Well, she had this is the girl who runs the crypto stuff for this company that I help counsel, right? And she has all that money go through her account. And Mexico said to her, not enough money in your account. Got money just put aside. And she said to me, she said, even Mexico wants a Latin to have $4,000 set aside. Tell me, and she said, we had to have $4,000 show our income was $4,000 a month. So basically, the visa scam is just that as a scam. And same with the U.S. Now, we're talking, I know people went for the U.S. visa. Same thing. I tried to help them, and it's the same thing. I know myself. I tried to get my children their passports, and I had dealt with Ecuadorians at the U.S. Embassy telling me that my children have a right to their constitutional citizenship, right? I'm like, I said, who are you? He said, well, first of all, if you want to continue this conversation and get your children their passports, you're going to have to go through an interview with me. I said, you're not even American. Why am I going through an interview with you?
Yeah.
I should be going through an interview with Americans for my children. So basically, I had to get an attorney involved, and about 3 weeks later, I got their passports, right?
Yeah.
But that's what's happening. It's just it's racketeering. So what we're promoting right now is illegal immigration. We want lawbreakers coming in this country, not people keep the law. And so
that's the problem right now. We are bringing illegal. I mean, I'm not just bringing people illegally. We're bringing lawbreakers. We're bringing the criminals over. So when Trump says, "Hey, and hey, good people, are they coming over?" Sure, I'm sure there are. But the promotion of bringing over people that have nefarious backgrounds, or intentions to come to this country is absolute. There's no question. And us not giving a rat's hind end about how we're going to vet them or not. They're not getting fingerprinting. They're not doing anything to bring.
Let me tell you a story that I've got directly from the horse's mouth, because we got an inside scoop here, and she's going to do an interview for us, and she's trying to get these girls that called her, that they're here now, her friends, and this is what they said. Said it was the only difficult part for them. They flew into Guatemala, no visa required for Ecuadorians. Fly into Guatemala. They take a bus from Guatemala. They fly into El Salvador, right? They fly into El Salvador. They get on a bus. They go to Guatemala. You pay $500 or something like that to pay to go into Guatemala. One of the friends said that there's like a bunch of checkpoints, and they rob everything from all the immigrants. The Guatemalan police, they steal everything from everybody. You said, but what you do is you have to know, you have to have a little bit of money with you, because they want a little bit of money. They'll take it from you and they'll let you go. And then you have to family wire you more money. So people had all their money on them and lost everything, and they're stuck in Guatemala. So then they cruise, go over to Mexico, and then they're bussed up. They come up all the way to the border. And she said it took them 2 days, just 2 days. They got processed. They were very kind. When they walked out, they got cell phones, $3,000. They got a place to stay, and they got transportation to that place to stay, and they got their residency.
What the hell?
And a work visa. And she said to me, these people just walk across illegally. I have to go home because my visa is going to expire, and I can't. There's nothing for me to stay. She tried to figure out how she can stay. There's nothing she can do unless she gets married. And I said, well, just go home and come back across the border.
Where's the logic in this? But there is no logic in this at all.
No. Well,
they've tried to say, hey, these are asylum seekers. I'm like, really?
They're not asylum seekers. I'm sorry.
And anybody that studies this and researches this, these people are not asylum seekers. They don't qualify for being asylum seekers, number one, and the other side of that is, like I said before, a big fat chunk of them are criminals, and the ones that aren't actual criminals, that aren't raping and pillaging, why are they coming up over this way in the first place?
Well, let me go back. Let me go back here. Well, because the gate's open, and everybody down there knows that what's being promoted in Latin America right now is the border's open. Biden says, come.
Yeah.
Right. That's what's being promoted. And they're showing how. And they're even being boastful about it. I saw on Fox, this Venezuelan boasting and saying, all pregnant women come. All you have to do is come here. Your baby's born. He said, you automatically get your citizenship. He was saying he got citizenship already. He'd been here like, 4 months, 3 months. Baby born, he already had citizenship. Yeah. And my wife has said to me, I can't even get my documentation back. She's been back in this country for a year and a half, did everything legally, and nothing. Where she can't even leave the country to go home and see her family if she wants to, because she's waiting in the process. We paid the money.
Years.
Yeah, you know what?
To do it right way, it takes a couple of years, and you got to show.
It takes a few years, and it's a lot of flipping money, Jeff.
Yeah,
it's expensive.
A close friend of ours just got her citizenship yesterday. We're talking about, another vote for Trump. That's what she wrote me yesterday, and I was like, all right, and there's a big, huge.
And we want to listen to those things. Jeff, hold on. Let me say something. We want listeners to know something. We're talking about Trump here. We're not talking about Donald Trump because we like Donald Trump, right? We're talking about somebody who right now, because he represents freedom that can maintain our religious freedoms as well. That First and Second Amendment, right?
Stop the immigration crisis. He's going to change, the U.S. dollar, so that it becomes strong again. We should have manufacturing in this country and not donate it out pawn it off to China, and get rid of the inside government that's trying to surveil us, and on every level, all the apps that are out there, everything that's out there, listening in on our phones, on everything and kind of targeting us. The IRS can target anybody they want, especially they like doing that to people that are outspoken, and certainly if they're Republican.
Hey, even this podcast can get targeted, Jeff. My wife and I are talking about it.
I'm sure they are. The thing is, now we just know that it's par for the course, and that's what's going to happen.
And I know any day they can show up at my door, and I'm willing to do that because I want to get this message out. I know for sure. I know where we've been. I know what we've seen. I know what I've studied, and I know what I understand, and I know what's true. And I want to share that with people. And I want to share with people so that when these tough times fall upon us, which they're coming, they're only being prolonged right now. These are coming. Yeah. And when they come, it's going to come as an avalanche.
A ton of bricks.
It's going to come on fast. And even one of my students told me, because 3 years ago, one of my groups I was teaching that this was coming. And she said to me yesterday, she said, I never thought it would be here so fast or in such detail as you explained it. It's gone so draconian. And she said, and especially in America.
Well, and it's weird, I had this conversation with a native friend of mine, and I love him to death. I don't agree with his politics, but he's telling me the other day, he goes, the problem with we have a problem here in New Mexico that there's a catch and release. I think it's all over. It was doing up there in Alaska as well. The whole catch and release thing. He goes, that was promoted by the Republicans because they wanted to cut costs. I'm like, really? Don't think so. But and we can look into that. The big issue right now is the whole socialist movement, and it's all tied into, like I said, the Pentagon and our judicial system, the IRS, the way they collect money. That's why Biden wanted, almost 90,000 new agents. It wasn't to go after, the big money people. It was to go after us. Yeah,
got them too.
Oh, did it finally happen?
Oh yeah. They threw all that. They threw all that into a different. The different package, yeah.
They're creating this military of economics, and
they're armed, by the way. Those IRS agents, now they're armed.
I thank you for being with us on Courageous Conviction. Remember, there's 5 episodes each week that we put out. We have to go down a lot of rabbit holes, so stay with us. Hit the thumbs up, subscribe, and don't miss tomorrow's episode on Courageous Conviction.